Hello, my dear brothers and sisters in Christ. Shalom and greetings to all of you. Let us dive into the word. Today's gospel is taken from Gospel of Matthew chapter 8 verse 1 to 4. Where we see when Jesus came down from the mountain, a leper approached him and said, "Lord, if you will, you can make me clean." You see, the leper knew Jesus had the power to heal him. His only question was Jesus willing to heal him? Now what Jesus does next is remarkable. But before healing the leper, he stretches out his hand and touches him. Now this may seem ordinary, but for leper in those days that was extraordinary, because lepers were avoided, isolated, and treated as outcasts. So many had gone years without experiencing a simple human touch. You see, my dear brothers and sisters in Christ, there's a story of a man. This man who sat outside the same train station every day. Hundreds of people passed him. Some ignored him, some dropped a few coins into his cup, and others occasionally bought him a meal. And he appreciated the help. But deep inside, he felt invisible. So one morning, a young woman stopped beside him. She gave him a sandwich. But before leaving, she asked, "What is your name?" You see, the man hesitated because it's been a long time since anyone asked him, So he replied, "David." So she smiled and said, "David, I'll be praying for you today." And the next day, she returned and greeted him by his name. And then the next day and the day after that. See, years later, David would say that while the food or the money that people gave helped his hunger, knowing that someone knew his name and prayed for him reminded him that he was still a person, still loved and not forgotten. Perhaps, my dear brothers and sisters in Christ, that is what the leper experienced when Jesus touched him. The healing was not only about curing a disease. Jesus restored the man's dignity before he restored his body. He showed the leper that he was seen, loved, and worth approaching. So, my dear brothers and sisters in Christ, this gospel reading today, challenges us. You see, when we see a person, let's say a person with a disability, someone who is lonely, elderly, sick, or struggling, we may offer material help. We may give money, food, or assistance. These are good and necessary acts of charity. But do we stop there? Do we ever pray for them? Do we ever bring them before God? You see, if you encounter a person in need, and after doing what you consider the bare minimum, if you still feel something tugging at your heart, that you see, like something is telling you this is not enough, that is a good place to start, my dear brothers and sisters in Christ. Perhaps your conscience is telling you that there's still more you can do, not necessarily more money, not necessarily a grand gesture, but something more human. And when we look at beggars, for example, we may not be able to eradicate poverty. We may not be able to solve every problem they face, perhaps not yet. But we can make this world a little better for them. We can acknowledge them, we can speak to them, we can look them in the eye, and we can make them feel human. Most importantly, we can pray for them. You see, a coin may help someone through the day. A meal may ease their hunger, but a prayer says, "You matter to me, I have not forgotten you." So, my dear brothers and sisters in Christ, the next time when we help someone in need, perhaps we can ask ourselves, have I only given something from my pocket, or have I also given something from my heart? For Jesus did not simply heal the leper, he touched him. And sometimes the greatest gift that we can give another person is not just our help, but our prayer and our presence. Have a nice day. Thank you and God bless.